On July 16, 1969, the world held its breath. Three men were about to attempt the impossible, to leave Earth and travel to the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins. The Saturn V rocket stood tall, ready to carry humanity beyond its home. History was about to be written. For months, the crew had trained relentlessly. Simulations of launch, emergency drills, navigation exercises. The spacecraft was checked endlessly, every instrument calibrated, every system double-checked. There could be no mistakes. Failure was not an option. As the countdown began, the nation and the world watched. Families, engineers, journalists, all eyes were on Kennedy Space Center. The Saturn V engines roared to life, a sound unlike any other in human history. Millions of pounds of thrust were about to overcome gravity itself. T-0. Flames erupted from the base of the rocket. Smoke filled the launch pad. The ground shook. And then they were airborne, ascending toward the sky, leaving behind earthly boundaries. The world cheered, and NASA breathed again. Within minutes, the astronauts felt weightlessness. The view was breathtaking. Earth, a blue and white marble, shrinking rapidly below them. Michael Collins remained in orbit, watching over the command module. Armstrong and Aldrin would journey farther. The astronauts were pioneers, alone in the void, representing an entire planet. The Saturn V was the largest rocket ever built.
It generated 7.5 million pounds of thrust. It lifted more than 140,000 kilograms into space. No human had ever flown with such raw power. It was engineering at the absolute edge of possibility. Every stage separated with precision. Every system performed flawlessly, a testament to thousands of engineers' work. Live broadcasts brought the launch to millions. People watched on television. People listened on the radio, and for the first time, spaceflight felt real to the public. This was no longer theory. This was humans leaving Earth, a dream turned into reality. The journey would take 4 days. The crew had to manage navigation, check every system, and prepare for maneuvers unseen by anyone on Earth. Every orbit brought them closer to history. Every communication reminded them this was a mission that had never been done before. Even in this moment of triumph, danger lingered. Micrometeoroids, solar radiation, equipment failure. The smallest mistake could be fatal. But the crew remained calm. Training, preparation, and trust in each other would carry them through. The launch was more than a technical feat. It was a symbol of ambition, of human ingenuity, of perseverance against fear and failure. Every nation watched. Every child dreamed. Every engineer celebrated. The space race had reached a new, unprecedented height. For the first time in history, humans were traveling farther from home than any ancestor had ever imagined. The moon, distant and mysterious, was now within reach. And this journey would culminate in a moment that no one would ever forget. In the next episode, we will witness the most iconic moment in human history. Neil Armstrong descending the ladder, placing his foot on the lunar surface and uttering the words that would echo forever. The moon landing, the climax of ambition, risk, and vision.
On July 20, 1969, humanity reached a point no one thought possible. Neil Armstrong descended the ladder of the lunar module. Every eye on Earth held its breath. Every heart raced with wonder. And then he stepped onto the moon. One small step, but a giant leap for mankind. The lunar module Eagle was a marvel of engineering. It had no luxury, no comfort. Every panel, every switch, every inch was designed for one purpose: survival and landing. The module weighed just over 15,000 kilograms. It carried 2 astronauts and enough life support to survive in the harshest environment humans had ever faced. The descent was tense. Armstrong manually guided the Eagle past boulders and craters. Fuel was running low. Every second counted. Every mistake could be fatal. Finally, the module touched down. Houston confirmed, "Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." The world erupted in joy. Armstrong opened the hatch. He moved slowly, carefully. Gravity was 1/6 of Earth's. And then he stepped his left foot on the lunar surface. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The words were simple. The meaning was profound. Humankind had left its home planet. Armstrong and Aldrin spent over 2 hours exploring the moon's surface. They collected rocks. They took photographs. They deployed scientific instruments. Every step was recorded. Every movement transmitted to Earth in real time. The world watched history unfold. The moon was silent. The horizon curved gently. Earth floated above them, blue and fragile. The astronauts were alone, yet connected to billions. The scale of what they achieved was impossible to overstate. Apollo 11 was not just symbolic. Samples collected returned valuable data about the moon's composition. Experiments measured seismic activity and solar wind. These first steps laid the foundation for decades of lunar science. Every movement carried risk. The lunar surface was uneven and unpredictable. The suits were fragile. Life support was limited. One error, one misstep, one equipment failure could have ended everything. Yet Armstrong and Aldrin persevered. Their courage was measured not by words, but by action. The landing inspired the world. Nations celebrated. Children dreamed of space. Engineers and scientists saw what was possible. The moon landing was a triumph of ambition, ingenuity, and international attention. Apollo 11 was more than technology. It symbolized the power of vision, the ability to unite a nation, the potential of human perseverance. It proved that even the most audacious goal could be achieved with determination and collaboration. After nearly 22 hours on the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin returned to the lunar module. They lifted off and rejoined Michael Collins in orbit. The journey back to Earth began, but the world had already changed. The moon had been touched by humans. History had been rewritten. Apollo 11 marked the culmination of a decade of ambition, sacrifice, and innovation. It inspired further missions, advanced science, and proved that human courage could reach beyond the stars. In the next episode, we will explore the subsequent Apollo missions and how the space race continued after the first moon landing. Apollo 11 made history, but the space race was not over. The world watched as the United States and the Soviet Union continued to push the boundaries of space. Apollo 11 was a beginning, not the end. The final missions would test courage, technology, and humanity's limits. NASA did not stop with Apollo 11. Apollo 12, 1969, precision landing near Surveyor 3, testing technical accuracy. Apollo 13, 1970, a mission almost ended in disaster, showcasing ingenuity and teamwork. Apollo 14 to 17, 1971 to 1972, extended lunar exploration, scientific experiments, and geological studies. Each mission expanded knowledge of the moon and proved that human exploration was sustainable, if carefully managed. Apollo 13 experienced an oxygen tank explosion. The astronauts faced life-threatening challenges. Engineers and flight controllers on Earth worked tirelessly to improvise solutions. The world watched in suspense. Thanks to quick thinking, the crew returned safely. Apollo 13 became a symbol of human resilience and the importance of preparation. Apollo missions returned 382 kilograms of lunar rocks. Experiments measured seismic activity, magnetic fields, and solar wind. Every mission refined technology, computers, navigation systems, life support. These advances influenced not only space programs, but also everyday life on Earth, from materials to medical equipment. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union focused on space stations and robotic exploration. Cosmonauts spent months in orbit. Rovers explored the moon's surface. While America won the moon race, the Soviets expanded human presence in space in other ways. By the mid-1970s, public interest began to fade. Apollo 11 had been a global spectacle. Subsequent missions, though scientifically important, did not capture the same imagination. Budgets tightened. Political support wavered. The space race was slowing, but the achievements remained monumental. The space race taught humanity several lessons. 1. Collaboration and discipline achieve the impossible. 2. Risk is inseparable from exploration. 3. Vision inspires generations. 4. Technology can leap forward under pressure. And 5. Failure is a teacher, not an end. These lessons outlasted political rivalries and competition. The final Apollo mission, Apollo 17, 1972, marked the end of the moon landing program. Humans would not return to the lunar surface for decades. The Cold War had shifted focus to other priorities. But the goal had been achieved. The dream of the moon was real. History had been made. The space race left more than just records. It left inspiration. It left technology. It left a vision of humanity capable of reaching beyond Earth. Satellites, space stations, GPS, and even modern computers carry the imprint of those efforts. The moon landing was not just a political victory. It was a human one. Today, nations and private companies aim for Mars, asteroid mining, and deep space exploration. The foundation laid by Apollo continues to guide astronauts, engineers, and dreamers. The space race may have ended, but the journey of humanity into space has just begun. From Sputnik's beeping signal to Armstrong's first step on the moon, the space race reshaped our world. It tested courage, ingenuity, and perseverance. And it proved one undeniable truth. When humans dare to dream, the impossible becomes possible. After Sputnik, the United States was no longer confident. For the first time since World War II, America questioned its future. The country that believed itself to be the world's technological leader had been publicly surpassed. And the question was no longer if America would respond, but how fast. In late 1957, Washington entered crisis mode. Military leaders feared vulnerability, politicians feared embarrassment, scientists feared being ignored again. The Soviet Union had proven that centralized planning could beat American industry, at least in space. For the United States, this was unacceptable. At the time, America had no unified space program. Different branches of the military were running their own rocket experiments: the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. They competed for funding, they guarded information, they failed publicly. Several U.S. rocket launches exploded on live television. Each failure deepened the sense of decline. President Dwight Eisenhower faced a difficult choice. He did not want space to become openly militarized, but he also understood the strategic threat. If the military controlled space, every launch would look like a weapon test. America needed something different, something civilian, something credible, something permanent. In July 1958, Congress passed the National Aeronautics and Space Act. On October 1, 1958, NASA officially opened its doors. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration absorbed earlier research agencies. Its mission was clear: peaceful exploration, scientific leadership, technological superiority. But beneath the language of peace was the reality of competition. NASA was designed to do more than explore. It was meant to restore confidence. Every success would be public. Every achievement would be visible. Unlike secret missile tests, NASA's victories would be broadcast to the world. Space became a stage. America gathered talent at an unprecedented scale. Scientists, engineers, mathematicians. Many came from universities, others came from the military, and some came from a darker past. Former German rocket scientists were quietly integrated into the program. Their expertise was invaluable, their history controversial. But the Cold War left little room for hesitation. Wernher von Braun became a central figure. Once a designer of weapons, he now spoke of exploration. He appeared on television. He explained rockets to the public. Von Braun helped turn spaceflight into a national dream. For America, he was both a symbol of progress and a reminder of uncomfortable compromises. NASA's early years were not glamorous. Tests failed, budgets were questioned, deadlines slipped. But unlike before, efforts were coordinated, knowledge was shared, mistakes were analyzed. For the first time, America was building a long-term space strategy. NASA's first human spaceflight project was called Mercury. Its goal was simple: send one man into space and bring him back alive. The challenge was enormous. No one knew how the human body would react to weightlessness. Every mission was experimental. Every astronaut was a test subject. NASA selected its first astronauts in 1959. They were pilots, military men, highly disciplined. They were also carefully presented to the public. Clean images, perfect families, calm confidence. Astronauts became symbols of stability in a nervous nation. Despite NASA's creation, the Soviet Union remained ahead. They had already sent the first satellite. They would soon send the first human. NASA was running, but still behind.
Time mattered. Every delay increased political pressure. Every success carried enormous weight. The space race was not fought only with machines. It was fought with perception. Each launch told a story. Who was smarter? Who was stronger? Who was winning the future? NASA became America's answer not just to Sputnik, but to doubt itself. By the early 1960s, one conclusion was unavoidable. Matching Soviet achievements was not enough. America needed a goal so bold, so ambitious, that it would redefine the competition. And soon, that goal would be spoken aloud. In the next episode, a young president will make a promise that shocks his advisors and inspires a nation. A promise that sounds impossible. A promise that will change history. We choose to go to the moon.